So now that we have our procedural animations and all that set up, one thing I do want to do really quick is go to the 1911 and basically do the same thing. So just set the movement sway, movement lag, rotation lag, recoil, and firearm collision, and just save that. So that way we actually, have them. It's not just a completely static feel. But we want to go ahead and work on the ability related stuff. So this is going to include the attribute set, which is going to, pertain to our ammo and all of that, and abilities that we want to grant, effects that we want to apply, that kind of stuff. Because right now, if we hit play and I search for show debug ability system, we currently have no attributes, no tags, no nothing ability happening other than, our interactability, which is on screen right now. So first thing we want to do is focus on the actual attributes. So when we equip a firearm, such as here, we want to apply the ability info, which would be applying a attribute set. And we want to have attributes for the magazine, the max magazine, count, magazine, like current magazine ammo, max reserve ammo, and current reserve ammo. So that way we can, keep track and actually use the ability system to modify these attributes predictively. So what we're going to do is inside of our weapon module, let's go ahead and make a new Unreal class, and the type's going to be a U attribute set. And we're going to put this in a folder called gas, and then a child folder called attributes. Now this is going to be a firearm attribute set. So that'll be the name, and we can press OK. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the firearm.h and CPP, just close these down. And the first thing we want to do is go to the U attribute set because we have a set of macros that we have to copy. And as far as I'm aware, in 5.6, this is supposed to be replaced with, I think, a single macro that's automatically included. I could be wrong. That's just what I heard. But we have to scroll down a fair bit to, in our case, line 418. So we want this chunk right here. So the attribute accessors. So we can take that and paste it up here and remove the little asterisk. Next up, we need to include the ability system component.h and then make a public section in our firearm attribute set. So we need an attribute. So let's go ahead and mark it as a U property. This will be blueprint read only, even though I don't really know if that's even necessary in our case. We need it to be replicated using. So this will be, this will be the current magazine ammo. So on rep underscore current magazine ammo. And category of, let's do firearm attribute set. So the type of this is going to be a F gameplay attribute data, and current magazine ammo is going to be the actual name. Next up, we need to use these attribute accessors. So if we just use this top one here, it basically goes through and generates the following. So we want the attribute accessors, and we're going to take in the class name, which is U firearm attribute set, and then the property name, which is current magazine ammo. And that takes care of one attribute. So because this is a onRep, we need the onRep function. So we're going to have I guess I'll make a protected section for all of these, but basically a U function, void onRep current magazine ammo, and it's going to take in a F gameplay attribute data. And we'll call this old value. Next up, we need the get lifetime replicated props because again, these are going to be replicated variables. So get lifetime replicated props, create the definition, and also for the onRep, create the definition of that as well. And in our case here, we're going to use I think it's like UE underscore gameplay. What is it? It's something notify. Let's see what the odds are that I can find it without actually having to go and look at a reference. But basically, it's a macro. So when the on rep changes, it'll go ahead and broadcast some stuff. So I am not seeing it. Maybe we have to, and what is it? Like gameplay attribute something. Yeah, I'm going to have to look and see. Okay, so I was annoyingly close, but it's gameplay attribute rep notify. So not entirely sure why it didn't pop up, but oh well, it is what it is. So it takes in the class name, so you firearm attribute set, then the property name, for our case, it is current magazine ammo, and then the old value, which is old value. So once we have that, we can go ahead and do our do rep lifetime. And in order to do that, we need to include net Unreal network. From there, we can do a do rep lifetime with condition notify. And for this, we're going to do the class, which is you firearm attribute set, then the value, or the property rather, which is the current magazine ammo, then the condition of how this replicates, which is condition underscore none, because we're going to replicate this, at least for now, to kind of everybody. And at some point, we're likely going to be going through and do an optimization pass. And in this case, this is probably going to be a property that only actually replicates to the owner. Next up, it's going to be the rep notify condition. So rep notify. So rep notify underscore always. Because we always want this to, well, fire the on rep when there is a change, even if the value is the same. So with that done, let's go ahead and close out of the editor and compile just to make sure everything actually builds. Okay, so it built just fine. The only thing I want to check is if we can pass this as a const reference or not. So I'm just more so curious to see if it'll complain. So I'm going to try that and just see if it, if everything still builds just fine. So if so, we're going to use that moving forwards because I just cannot remember. And it seems like that is okay. So we're going to leave the old value as a const reference and we are good to go. So we have one attribute. Let's go ahead and make a few more. So we have our current magazine ammo. So let's write out kind of what we need. So we need the ammo that's in the magazine. We need the magazine capacity. So that is spelled wrong. We need the ammo reserve and the ammo reserve capacity. So we have the ammo in the magazine, which is current magazine ammo, and we need the, I guess we can call it the max, or the, let's just call it magazine capacity. So this will be the magazine capacity. And then on rep magazine capacity. Then we will have the ammo reserve. So current ammo reserve. On rep current ammo reserve. And we need the ammo reserve capacity. So ammo reserve capacity. So on rep ammo reserve capacity. So let's see, what is this whining about? Oh, just because the on reps are not found. So now we need the on reps. So we need 1, 2, 3. On rep magazine capacity, current ammo reserve, and ammo reserve capacity. So let's go ahead and generate these three. We can copy this guy and paste it in and change out the names. So current magazine ammo to, ammo reserve capacity, so on and so forth. Like that. And then we just need to mark them as as a rep notify or as replicated here. So 1, 2, 3. So we have magazine capacity, current ammo reserve, and ammo reserve capacity. So we have the remaining 3 attributes implemented and finished. So now that we have this, we are in a good spot. So that way we can actually use it with gameplay effects. And basically, when we equip a firearm, we're going to add this attribute set to ourselves. And that's going to basically allow us to, well, utilize it. So we can predictively modify the ammo in the magazine and the ammo reserve and all of that stuff through the gameplay ability and gameplay effects. So the only thing I'm not 100% sure on is given the nature of this, the game itself, because we are always going to be having a firearm, is we might be able to just get away with adding this attribute set to us and leaving it. Because again, we're always going to have a firearm in our hand. So there's no reason, in my opinion, to not, just add it kind of by default. But that'll be one of those things where if I'm not 100% sure. So we may or may not do that by default. We'll just have to see. Regardless, that is going to be all for this video, and I will see you in the next one. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below, where you can also gain early access to this entire series.